I've just spent half an hour or so on the 2016 Beta Evo 300 factory edition, which I fully restored because it needed new crankshaft bearings. So I'm just gonna run you through the story about the bike. So this bike, like I say, 2016 Beta Evo 300 factory edition. I bought it sight unseen from Japan, which this time didn't turn out so good because it was a very worn out bike, and I mean, I've never seen a trials bike so flogged. Everything was worn out. Well, I actually had new chain and sprockets on it, but everything else was stuffed. The main problem were the crankshaft bearings. It was very noisy, clearly needed crankshaft bearings. So it's been a many month process of rebuilding it. I decided to go all out and powder coat the frame, get new plastics and stickers, any new parts that were needed. I didn't hold back. So some interesting points about the bike. Yeah, like I said, I had to put crankshaft bearings in. It turned out the old crankshaft bearings still had the seals in, so they weren't getting lubrication. So it had a rebuild before, and whoever rebuilt it left the seals, not the crankshaft seals, but the seals on the actual bearings in place, so the bearings couldn't get any lubrication. So that's why they went bad again. So I'm glad I pulled it apart when I did. I've taken the opportunity to do full powder coating and had the forks rebuilt. The front wheel needed a few new spokes. Running the gas mud guard because it has the metal brace, so I always run them on the Betas. The Beta standard mud guards with the plastic brace, they always break. Renthals up top, just my preferred handlebar. I've downgraded technically to the Grimeca Beta branded master cylinders. I much prefer them. I had to have this hose made up here in Thailand, which is good. What else at the front? Nothing. Just my favourite grips, some S3 bar ends, the new kill switch, of course. Coming down here, the radiator needed work. It was really bent, and both brackets were broken. So I've had them welded and did a bit of straightening, and it came out all right. It's not leaking. S3 head, I took the opportunity to put a high compression head on while I was doing the rebuild. It's also got S3 piston kit, which I think is a Vertex. On hard enduro bikes, I go for low compression, but on the trials bikes, especially these old Betas, to get them to rev a bit more, I'm trying out a high compression head. It's still very smooth down low, and once I've broken it in, I'll see how well it revs. I've got a little fuel leak there, just ignore that for now. I'll fix that. Still ironing things out. Gone for the S3 foot pegs. They're down and back. I'm not really sure if this bike needs down and back, but they're a nice foot peg, so that feels all right. I'm coming off the TRS, so now I've got to get back used to this geometry, which I much prefer. The steeper head angle, shorter wheelbase just suits me a lot better. What else? New air filter, of course. Now in here, TRP rear shock. I bought this TRP rear shock years ago, and it's been sitting on the shelf. So I finally had the opportunity to use it. And based on the first ride today, it is fantastic. Absolutely straight out. I didn't change the settings at all. It is just beautiful. Soaking up big stuff, but also lively enough for my riding style. Splats, taps, everything. It's fantastic, huge improvement over standard. So I think I'll be leaving that in and leaving it as is. I had to do quite a bit of work on the back. These, the rotor screws had come out at some point, to the point where, was it this side? Oh no, that was, so I had to have the swing arm welded and painted here. It must have been one of these bolts came out and hit the swing arm at some point. So as I said, it was just a terribly maintained bike, but so I had that welded and painted, a new chain tensioner. And on this side, they'd done the same things. These were all loose. One of them was completely stripped. So I've used a long bolt, and I recut the thread and used a lot of Loctite on one of those, and I'm hoping to get away with that. We'll see. The rotor was also cracked because they've been running it loose for so long. So that's a new rotor. Anything on this side. And that's about it. The biggest, I'm really impressed with how it's riding. The biggest surprise is the TRP shock. TRP rear shock feels fantastic. Bike feels almost like a new bike, so I guess I don't need to get a new bike. This is a 2016, 9 years old, very similar to the current model. Probably better now with the TRP and the high compression head. Hopefully I'll put everything together properly and it won't die soon. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, that's the story of the bike. Bye.